What's up, Fusion? My name's Shane. I'm going to be giving you guys' sermon today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for just watching these sermons. I'm trying to get out to you guys short and sweet. Hayden's been gone with his new daughter, Berkeley. Congratulations if you're watching this, Hayden. But thanks for tuning in for those that have. Today I'm going to be talking about faith. Last week I talked about kindness or goodness, one of the two. I can't remember. But today we're on faithfulness. It's another fruit of the Spirit. And as we look at these just these simple words, I just want to remind you guys that it just goes so much deeper than that. I think today, especially with faith, we look at faith as such a cliche term, and all the time we're like, just take a leap of faith, just have faith in God. You're in the season right now, just trust that He's got your back. And yes, all that is true, but I want to get a definition on faith and what it means, because if we're just simply just saying we have faith, I don't think that is faith. Faith starts in our mind, but it's always accompanied by obedient action and always finished with that. So I just want to talk about what it means to have faith so that we can live in faith. 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, "For we live by faith, not by sight." And seeing stuff is totally good, and it's totally evidence for things that we want to know, and having stuff in front of us is a great thing. But faith, I think, can get complicated. It says we live by faith and not by sight. And I just want to talk about this definition. It means to trust and have confidence in God. That's just the bottom line. It's to trust and have confidence in God. It's evidence for the unseen, and it's the action upon what we believe in. So with that said, you might be asking yourself, what does it mean to have evidence for the unseen? Because obviously it says in 2 Corinthians, "For we live by faith, but not by sight." And some of you guys might be saying, well, if we see it right in front of us, how can I not believe that? How do we live by faith? And it's talking about the spiritual aspect of it. It's being confident in what God will do and having hope for the unseen, and having hope for what He will do. I think faith goes a lot further than reason, and it means to trust and to rely in Him, and not simply the bare belief of just an intellectual understanding of faith. I think it goes much further than that. If we go to Hebrews 11, if you guys want to turn there with me, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read the first couple. I'm going to read 5 verses. So, verse 1, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Just like what I read in 2 Corinthians. "This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. By faith Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith Abel still speaks, even though he is dead." Verse 5. "By faith Enoch," I think that's how you pronounce his name, "was taken from this life, so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God has taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God." So Hebrews 11 it's known as like the faith chapter. It talks a lot about it. You guys should read the whole thing. It's long. I wasn't going to read it because if I read it, we're supposed to keep these things under like 7 minutes. So you guys should definitely go read it. But reading this, it's faith. If you guys think about faith, it starts in the head, right? When you say, "I have faith in this, I have faith in God," it starts in your head. But in this chapter, it's talking about behavior, obedience, and action. Over and over and over and over, we see verse 4, it says, "By faith." Verse 5, it says, "By faith." Verse 8, "By faith Abraham." And then it says, "By faith Abraham." Over and over, just by faith, by faith, by faith. And all these characters in the Bible, how they had faith. I want to talk about faith is always starts in your head, starts with reason, and is always completed by faithful action and obedience. That's how it happens. So when we look at faith, it's not just having faith in something, but it's taking action. It's living in faith. It's living in hope of what God will do. And with that said, it's completed by action. So I just want to encourage you guys, when you have faith, you guys are like, well, what does that mean? Well, I can't see it. It's talking about the spiritual stuff of it. It goes far beyond the actual, just the understanding of faith, and it's living in action of it. over and over, you just see by faith, by faith, by faith, and it's accompanied by action. A quick example of this is childlike faith. Jesus calls us to have a childlike faith, to trust Him, to put all of our burdens on Him, to cast everything, because He's got our back ultimately. And you guys might ask, what does that look like? Well, a quick example of this is just having a childlike faith, a child jumping in to a father's hands, pretty much. When you have, I don't have a kid, Hayden just had a kid, but Collins or any other kid, maybe they're standing on top of the stairs and the father's standing down there with his arms out and saying, jump, I got you. And the kid, without hesitation, jumps into the father's arms. And that is basically what we are called to do. We not just have faith and say, I'm going to jump because I trust you. No, it's I'm going to jump because I trust that you won't let me fall. And I think we often get confused with faith in the Bible and say, just take a leap of faith. Just take a leap. It's not a leap of faith. It's evidence for what God has done. We trust Him because of what He has done. It's jumping into your Father's hands without hesitation. And it always starts in our head saying, I believe you, but why do I believe you? And we put that into action. And it's always completed through obedience. Our faith heavily influences how we love and is demonstrated by one's service and obedience to God. So I just wanted to cover that quickly, just for you guys to understand what is faith. I wish I could go longer with this. So I hope you guys are doing good. That is my message today, and I will see you later. Meanwhile.
To the fire.